Well, he did have more to say. Former President Mahama also criticized the NPP government for failing to provide textbooks 3 years after the introduction of the new curriculum at the basic school level.
The minimum expectation was that the NPP government will build on the strong foundation that had been bequeathed them and achieve incremental progress over what they met. They have instead carried out a demolition exercise of that foundation and left our economy in quicksand, sinking at an alarming rate. However, now we know that responsibility and prudence are not concepts that appear to be appreciated by this government. As we speak, the cash crunch arising out of the rigidities in the economy is having a devastating toll on almost all sectors of our national life. Let's take the education sector, for instance. At the basic level, capitation grants have been in arrears for nearly a year. Textbooks have not been supplied to basic school pupils for 3 straight years. At the SHS level, lengthy delays in the release of funds have crippled the free SHS program, compelling key stakeholders like CHAPS and NAT to issue ultimatums to government. There have been widespread reports of food shortages and nutrition deficient poor quality food in schools across the country. And the academic calendar has become erratic due to non-availability of funds to run the schools. At the tertiary level, UTAG recently just ended a protracted strike action to call on government to honor its commitments on salary rationalization and better conditions of service. The UTAG strike severely undermined teaching and learning on our various campuses. College of Education students have spent more time at home than in school because of the lack of funds, and trainee allowances have been in arrears for several months amidst threats by school authorities to shift the cost of feeding onto students in the absence of timely release of funds by government.
Well, on the back of those thoughts by the former president, we're now joined by a research fellow from the Africa Education Watch, Divine, who joins us via Zoom. Divine, happy Eid al-Fitr to you. Hope you're enjoying the holiday.
Yeah. I've gotten some salam meal invite from San Francisco right after here. I'm going to enjoy myself. And happy Eid to all
Al-Hajj Divine Fair. Anyway, so these are the comments of former President Mahama in terms of the lack of access to textbooks 3 years after the new curriculum. But Africa Education Watch has conducted a lot of research into this. Do you agree fundamentally with what the president is saying in terms of the impact of a lack of textbooks?
Yeah, that's correct. We are all aware of the very fact that 3 years on, after the introduction of the new curriculum, we do not have textbooks to ensure effective teaching and learning in our schools. Several deadlines were given, and the recent one given by the PRO of the Education Ministry was March 2022. So when school resumed in January, 31st of January, on your show, or JoyNews, he gave March 2022 as the deadline for distribution of textbooks to schools. But as at now, schools have still not received them. We know that it's basically about procurement and financial handicaps as far as government is concerned. That has occasioned a delay in the procurement and distribution of textbooks to school. And we can't discount the effect of lack of textbooks in our school, more especially for the fact that we are even introducing a new curriculum, or we have to introduce a new curriculum, and some of the concepts and how to approach them, especially if you look at the aspect of creative arts, some of the concepts are new to some of the teachers, and they would have needed some guideline, not only the textbook only, but also teachers' guideline, but we do not have that. And our studies have also indicated that teachers have to resort to the internet to look for materials themselves. And if we are talking about standard-based curriculum and teachers are getting material from different angles to teach their students, then it tells you that that's going to defeat the purpose of a standard-based curriculum system, because teachers are teaching across the length and breadth of the country may not be of standard, given the fact that they are all getting their material source from different areas. So that is a challenge over there. And then also some of them where PTAs are effective or SMC are effective, they are supplying them with textbooks. And not only about the teachers, but students as well. The student need a textbook for them also to maybe send home to read, especially for the aspect of English. A teacher can give them a passage to go and read at home. But hitherto, what teachers are doing is to be writing some of the passages on board for students to copy from their teacher resource pack. They write on notes and blackboard for students to copy, and that alone even takes away much from the instructional time. The amount of time the teacher will spend writing on board alone is taken away from the instructional time, and some of the students that may struggle to view from the board is also another challenge. So indeed, the challenge of inadequate or even outright lack of textbooks in our school is a challenge. Prior to the introduction of the new curriculum, we have about only 20% of students that are having the full complement of the 4 core textbooks. So the challenge has really been there, and then we have introduced a new curriculum, and now it has not been accompanied with any textbook as well. Not only the text, but its ancillaries like chart, posters, and then teachers' guide for them also to use, or workbook. These are all challenges affecting the implementation of the new curriculum.
Now, we know that since 2019, this has been a hurdle to be crossed from KG, kindergarten, all the way to primary 6. Per your research, what do you think are the immediate measures that ought to be put in place to remedy the situation? Because it's been a problem for certain specific reasons. What is Africa Education Watch looking forward to within the next few months?
Well, March 2022, as I said, has been given by the Ministry of Education. We know processes for procurement and distribution has advanced. We don't know what is still delaying the distribution, because we know the process has far advanced. It is our expectation that before school will resume for the next academic term, second term, the textbooks would have been ready. But going forward into the future, our expectation will be that as the Ministry of Education itself has indicated in the Education Sector Medium-Term Development Plan, that by 2021, they would have developed and implement a textbook policy that will address some of these challenges. Believe that would have given an effect. The medium-term plan expired in 2021. They are developing the next one. It's our expectation that the next one would have given birth to this policy, so that we address some of the challenges that we see in the procurement of textbook and the lack of it thereof. Since it's an issue of financial inadequacy, we believe that there are some measures that government can take to reduce costs when it comes to the procurement and the distribution along the value chain. And also, strongly, personally, I believe that we are able to rationalize the curriculum. The number of subjects that are being taught in the school could have been reduced further. I believe could have been reduced. Some of them could have been rationalized or infused. That would have reduced a cost in print if the subjects are lesser, which would also reduce costs involved, and therefore would have been seen continuous supply of school. Mind you, the lifespan of some of the books by GSE's own policies were 2 to 5 years. So by 2 to 5 years, they have to replace some of the textbooks. So even if they brought the textbook now, they have to look at its replacement even in 2 to 5 years along the line. So they need these policies to see how best they can address it. Not only that it's available today, we also need to look into the future.
Divine, thank you for joining us. Divine Per is a research fellow with Africa Education Watch, joining us on that discussion.